I'll give you the latest update on the Democrats and what they do because I only have eyes and can only see what is in front of my face. So these are the type of people that um, might even be bitter for not being able to run a business or not having anything to knowledge on how to run a business. But lo and behold, they went and got all this political whatever bullshit piped in their ass instead of going to Cambridge and all those other places to figure out how to be in business and to be a business savvy person. So they go to the government, become government elected as Democrats. And then we have some Republicans here that are on board now. I have the Tea Party hate on them and everything else. But a lot of Americans might not be all on the same level, but they're on the same level whenever it comes to this abuse of power and what they're doing to our economy, the high inflation. Inflation does not stop. These people want to keep pressing for higher minimum wage when it's going to eventually cost us $10 to $15, and it's gonna not going to stop there. We'll see that point come for a Whopper from Burger King in the U.S., and it will not be Burger King's fault. But if the Democrats could, they would get away with telling everybody, yeah, that damn Burger King, they can't, uh, sit there and pay $15 to $20 an hour minimum wage, and then charge you burgers for the same price. What a goddamn. I mean, and that's what these people are. So they're getting even with people in business. They make up stuff in their head and say that it's all right. Or these are these business people. These people in business are the ones that need to be attacked constantly and continually. Because they have to break our bank in order to. And this is probably one of the discussions where I probably will not lose my train of thought, and I probably will not skip around too much, and I'll probably make a darn good point um, about what they are doing and what some, what I think some Republicans, in despite of whatever their own personal tragedies or losses or whatever happened to them, they somehow become we went and voted all these Democrats out in Congress in 2010 just to have them go and figure out a way to replace all those Democrats with some Republicans that will do business with them, will do business with Obama and let him get away with acting like the Republicans aren't don't it's the Republicans' way or the highway, not Obama. And it somehow it comes down to just doing what Obama wants or what he thinks or says. So he's running it like he's an emperor or some shit up there, huh? And that's not what a president's supposed to be. A friend, he's a friend. A president of the U.S. is supposed to be a friendly guy. He's supposed to be your friend, somewhat sort of like Santa Claus, but um, you don't go and you know crap on everybody else because you think terrorists have it bad, just because you think that the world created terrorism and these people to be extremists the way they are by the way that their life worked out. It has nothing to do with their leaderships or their dictations or anything going on with their economics or nothing about them being run by straight tyrants or Obama wanting to act like he's something cool or he's your friend, but he's really a tyrant. And he's really not. So Paul Ryan, I want to know who are we going to replace Paul Ryan with? Because obviously these Democrats, what they do is they think that it's their job in their life to become a politician and then tell us all, um, you know, how to run this stuff. They're going to be the ruling class, and they're going to come and tax us to death when you have every role model in the world to suggest that to this point you guys can't be stupid to not know that the government's getting the smallest amount of revenue from taxing people. When they tax people more and tax people to death, they will put a strangle on society and they get less. When the government figures out a way to be able to tax maybe more by lowering your taxes to something people can deal with, it doesn't crunch their business, you're not going after their business by doing it with other things that you implement from government to try to harm people's business on purpose. So, you have people who honest to God, what do you think Hillary Clinton would do with the business if she had a business? Or Obama? Because what I've seen him do, and the media still lets them get away with it. This Democrat Party is take a dump and crap on people who have successful business, who are doing right, who enjoy their life, who think that they are in an awesome place from their business and from life and what's been given to them. But then you have these people who want to punish all of us if we have a successful business or we're doing good like that. But if we were doing a shitty business, and for whatever reason, maybe the government or you have is maybe they're rich already, so they have enough money to keep pumping money into a business that that is not successful. But this is who Obama would want to help out and go and help revive. And I'm like smacking, like scratching my head and hitting it like that. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And he's like going and pumping money and trying to revive companies and businesses and things you already know failed, was already bad. Just like how they go and pay the banks off also, on top of what I said, they go to businesses that failed tremendously, and he's giving them billions of dollars up. This should help you. This $30 billion should help you. A business that was unsuccessful that crashed right into the ground. And then you have these. Hold on a second. I do have to regather my thoughts for a second. You see that? It's where I got chicken pox when I was 22. 22 years old, I got chicken pox. And it's a scar. Can you give me a second? I'm gonna go get, I'm sorry, I got a viewer on here right now. I need to, go take care of something real quick. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna say real quick, if anybody does come on, you can say whatever the hell you want. I don't care. You can be totally against my opinion. I really don't give a rat's ass. Whatever, we'll debate. If you want to come on here and talk about who you think should replace Paul Ryan, I'll give you one of my thoughts while I go grab. I have to take care of something real quick. My nose is stuffy. I have to go clear it out. Sorry, I apologize. But I believe in drafting somebody who opposes Obama, not somebody who's going to go do more business with somebody who goes and pulls a business's head out of its ass that collapsed 10 years ago and then revives the business because this is how things have to be ran. This is how Obama's saying it. So he's doing ha ha ha. He's doing all this stuff ha 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 because he hates America. He wants to get even with their country. So ha ha ha, the joke's on us for the time being, and still, and while Paul Ryan's in there, we'll still be having them laugh at us. I really have to go do this, but my last word before anybody else come on in and say whatever, however they feel or whatever they think. I think it started for the beginning of the end for Ryan. Um, when he went up against the Tea Party. Right. There's no views. Now the view ran away. They got scared when I said I have a view too. Um, I would probably talk to him. Like if I came on somebody else's thing and was like wanted to say something, I would say something. I have before on live radio. On these you can swear a little bit, I guess, but I really would rather have a more of a decent conversation with somebody than to sit there and swear and bicker and everything else at people. So, um, I just I'm disappointed with the way things have transpired over the last 8 years. Um, is such a contrast with people saying that Obama and his agenda is doing good and that he has good intentions and the wrong things or bad things always compiling up and coming back to haunt us and to blow up in our face. So they don't blow up in Obama's face because he doesn't have to take any of the responsibility for what he has done. For whatever reason, he gets to act like he is the most awesomest, most sharpest thing that ever happened to America. And you would only think that way if you were a damn terrorist or if you were an enemy to America. For some reason you had an interest to at this point you hated America and you wanted us dead. But all I can say is there are different things in the world if you want to be realistic. Like you know, I was talking about Obama's foreign policies and his domestic policies, but I wanted to talk about Russia for a second. Do you think that Russia has a kind of a hatred towards us or wants to get even with America? I know this is a little bit off track from Paul Ryan, but it still has to do with the president. I want to talk about Afghanistan and when we kind of blockaded um, the Russians in Afghanistan, and um, we basically helped the Taliban or whatever them defeat the Russians because we had a thing against the Russians. We have we're staunch in democracy or whatever, so we oppose communism. So that's what that Afghanistan thing in the 80s was all about. And Ronald Reagan was president, so I'm a Ronald Reagan supporter. But at this point of the game, I'm just like, who should be our allies and who should we work with and negotiate with and stuff. And I have a real problem. I have a real problem with Paul Ryan and the fact of him doing a deal with Obama over the refugees in particular, and it didn't seem like he did went in there to do anything fiscally conservative or try to help the conservative or the Republican Party out. And he's sitting there pointing fingers at Trump or telling Trump that because he's not politically correct or whatever, that Trump's got to go. Even though that many people went and voted for Trump, these people are gonna sit on their high horse or keister or whatever, and they're gonna sit there and point fingers at Trump still. When I seen this guy go in there instead of doing what we told Paul Ryan to do, people like myself are staunch conservatives. I'm sorry if you hate me for it. If you please forgive me, but I don't like the idea of pulling out of Iraq. Wasting big waste of money, big waste of time and money, and we'll have to go back there. It will be more relevant and proven, and proof will come to people who will be able to see that George Bush was not really like this villain that they play him as, and they'll be able to see more. If they go and look up at my video I have, I'll tell you again. It's the first World Trade Tower attack happened in 1993. So basically, the same shit happened to Bill Clinton back then when he was president for only 10 months and the World Trade Towers were bombed. But you never hear anything about that or him in the media and all that because of the interests that Obama goes after are media interests in particular. Say like gay rights, you know. If I was one of these guys from 60 Minutes or uh, in one of those shows like that, Dateline or something like that, I would have a complete liberal, staunch, um, like uh, view exactly how Obama's doing. So that makes sense. What Obama is doing are all storylines and everything that those people in the media places um, made stories out of, and tried to push, you know, gay rights or gay marriage or whatever 20 years ago before Obama even came and did that. So, the media had a complete interest that Obama is executing now as president. You're scratching your head and you're like, what does that have to do with Iraq or, um, the economy or anything? What does gay rights have to do with the economy? You know, what does that have to do with being president or anything like that? And is there do gay people really want to be married like that? They want to. So I mean, I know I'm getting off here, but I'm talking about the ridiculous stuff that's been going on here, and them lying to our face, wasting our time and money. They've got they got this Paul Ryan guy in there now, and he replaced Boyner. Back before they kicked Boyner out, basically made Boyner resign or whatever from that spot. I said, "Why the hell are you gonna replace Boyner for?" I knew it somehow. I just knew it before they put him in there, and then when they put him in there, I was like, "Oh no," because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if he was gonna prove me wrong or if I was going to be correct. But he ended up, in my opinion, being worse than Boyner. He's gonna go in there and make how much is that gonna cost us to bring all these refugees over here? And you're not gonna recruit them into our military and make them an army so that they go back and take their country back. you know, I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all what's going on, and for Paul Ryan to jump on bandwagon with Obama like that, I see the same, you know, attack on our society from a ruling type of class who some of these people, like I hear these cops were in this show. I think it's the X Files, right? X Files, a bad guy who smokes all the time. His opinion on us, or on people in particular, is that we have to have somebody telling us what to do all the time, and that we cannot be programmed to be self-sufficient, to be self-governed, like enough to where how many senators or lawyers or cops do I need to rule over me or whatever do you guys think, So that's what I look at that. I don't believe it's um fiscally conservative. I don't think that Paul Ryan has our back, and I'd really like to know how to negotiate, or how it transpire to get remove this guy. And I know Joe Wilson is a senator or whatever, but I'm for drafting somebody like this guy right here who told the truth that much time ago, you know, got up and yelled, "You're a liar. You are a liar. I want your lying ass out of my government." All these people, somebody's got to tell everybody else out here what a piece of garbage liar Obama really is. So, when I'm looking at Trump for president, his vice president, I'm looking for him to narrow in and win the election. So it's gonna have a bit to do with his VP also. But How are we gonna replace Paul Ryan out of there and put somebody like this guy in there who's gonna tell um, whoever's trying to harm our economy and our country or whatever, and our business opportunities that we all have. We all are in the same boat. We all have these business ventures. We can either be good at it or not, but we don't need the government to go tell us more, and to like take somebody like Boyner out and put somebody like Paul Ryan in there and try to fool us to make us think, oh, this guy's gonna be uh he's gonna go and stand up to Obama even more. And then he's got people, while he's bickering at Trump. See, this is the problem that I have with people bashing Trump, is because it all came from the people who I know are liars. The media and all the people in particular that are saying Trump this, Trump that, are some of the biggest liars, exaggerated people that exaggerate so much. I don't even know. I thought I come up with some good ass, you know, mythical stories or whatever the hell, whatever the hell you call that shit. But these people come up with some shit, and I tell you, it has a lot to do with the fact that they don't know how to run a business. Is America supposed to be run like a business, or isn't it? So, and I don't know what the deal is with these people abuse of power or whatever. Um why they would ever want to do that to our country in particular. Um so I'm looking for somebody like Joe Wilson to replace Paul Ryan. We replaced Boyner, like I said, somehow they went and they replaced Boyner, and Boyner, I guess, made the be field to resign. But this guy is not going to resign, and he's going to give us the most staunchest, most hardest time in the world to get out of the way. And instead of doing what's right and being on board, he's going to act like more like Trump when Trump becomes president. I'm not going to say like act like that has already happened, but I have to put it into terminology like that. This guy will still be acting like Obama is still president and Trump shouldn't be president or something after Trump is president, because here I'm gonna go to my grab bag. Maybe I can end this video right here, make my point when I show you now what this video right here is all about. Come to me from Newsmax in my mailbox just this morning, and here we go. Paul Ryan spoils Trump's victory by withholding endorsement. See that? This in the title of this thing when it came into my mailbox said the GOP civil war begins. So this guy right here is going to be a spoiled little brat, and you know why? Because of the Tea Party. So the Tea Party has a lot to do with this, and they have a lot of responsibility that they have to take. And I'm saying that not that they won't, and not that they don't understand what I'm talking about, but leading up to this, they have to finish this job that they started. Don't Tea Party, don't leave this Paul Ryan mess to somebody else more in particular. I will help you and support you to defeating this guy here and kicking this guy out of the House. Maybe even lose his political position altogether. Vote him out completely. But it is definitely the Tea Party knows what I'm talking about. They have to finish a job, war that they started. They didn't start with this guy. The Tea Party, I understand how that works. They find something out that this guy did, so then Ryan would maybe want you to think that the Tea Party started a war with him, and started a war with Obama too. Gosh, it wasn't Obama being abusive with power, Gosh, no, you know, trying to manhandle people like an abusive cop, who has no jurisdiction types of things that bear over this cop, or whatever you want to say, this uh, talk about mythological creatures or whatever, but this fictitious character or whatever that I'm making for my point is a cop who say has no rules that pertain to him in particular, and but he's twisted though, he might not be the most twisted person around, but he's still twisted like he shouldn't be, and he's screwing with your constitutional rights and that, and he's abusing his authority and his power that he was given. So the Tea Party needs to get rid of this guy. I guess I wanted to go ahead and read the article, and then I'll get out of here. House Speaker Paul Ryan took the extraordinary step of saying he isn't ready to support Donald Trump, and Trump fired right back, igniting a spat that pits one of the nation's most popular and prominent Republicans against his party's presumptive nominee. Yeah, because hold on here for a second. This is where the game changes with Trump. He knows that, and he did it for us. Trump was giving us something back right there. None of y'all don't get that. Trump was giving us back, pushing back the establishment and pushing back the elitist and the ruling class. Instead of them coming down off their high horse and being everybody's buddy, they want to be looking over you. So anyways, putting the brakes on Trump's coronation, Ryan said on CNN that Trump, yeah, see, and I bet you right now how you can tell Ryan's not a Republican, or anybody else for that matter that would go on CNN and not have CNN let into their ass. They're gonna have little cakes and coffee and sweet cakes and shit with stick their head up Obama's that other face right in Obama's ass when he comes on their show, when he comes on The View and shit like that. It's all peachy cheeks, peaches and Sunday ice cream and shit like that. When he goes on there and those people go on there, so if a Republican goes on there and these guys, these characters, these CNNs or MSNBCs don't let into their ass like they did to Trump recently over abortion, then you know that he's not a Republican. So I have to point out um, where he went wrong, I guess, or that he's not a Republican, and where he went bad was with the Tea Party. The Tea Party found some dirt on him, and they had a big spat um, a long time ago. So um, I don't even know if Ryan should even technically be in the Republican Party right now. From I mean a while back ago. So Ryan is bitter and he has reason, but he was one just like all the rest of these establishment and ruling elitist class or whatever globalist pieces of garbage they are, not for America's economy and for our own country's interest. He sold out long ago. Paul Ryan is where he is at now, ladies and gentlemen, not because the conservatives put him there, but because he fits into a mold that we all quite are getting bits and pieces of and are being made aware of to understand Paul Ryan's existence and his position or disposition with the government. And that's where it lies right there. And that's why he is having a spat with the Republican nominee, is because it doesn't matter what Trump does on abortion or on gay marriage or on anything else. All that matters is that our inflation goes away, it goes down, it levels out, and people get their jobs back and they get their houses and their cars and their families and everything back to working order. That's all that matters. Not having the country's head up its ass like these people who cannot run a business. I'm telling you, all of us, I'll tell this to myself because I believe I am telling even my own self, I'm preaching at myself now, that if I'm not good at owning a business or running a business, I need to get behind somewhere and try and figure out a way to make the best income that I can being working for somebody else who has a business and fall in line with everybody else and figure out who to work for them. I honestly believe that. I'm telling everybody that, but I'm telling myself that first. So I do not appreciate people like Paul Ryan coming in here trying to tell me anything about people who go and help uh, people who help to bankrupt our country by giving bad um, loans to people from the bank's position. How in the world does anybody, CEOs or whoever the top brass of the banks, came down and told these bankers, yeah, whenever any Tom, Dick, and Hank, and Joe, and Frank, and Bob, Skippy, Doop, Pat, today comes in here and tries to get a loan from you, you give it to them. You push that shit. You push the note, and you get that shit out. You get it out there, man. You go, boy. This is what the banks are telling all these bankers, and they didn't get penalized for giving bad loans to people that fell out or whatever. That should be on their career. It should be on their record as a banker or whoever these people were. It should be attached to their permanent record, just like people, if they commit a crime or something like that, society tries to make you feel guilty for something that you did when you were a young person, and now you're old and wise. They still want to try to treat you the same, like you can never grow up. So you want to wonder more why there's a pattern in society, why people become more criminal, or why they get treated like a criminal. and not they're never rehabilitated, and we're not even at a point in our society where we just teach everybody to be legitimate. Like there's not enough people, just people's parents. Thank God that there's enough parents or some uh, stand-up type of people who are good examples for being a good role model in society, who actually do volunteer type of stuff or whatever. It can still be an example out there how to be nice, or um, um, whatever, not be a bad person. Anyways, you don't go out of your way to harm somebody, you know. Anyways, so he puts the brakes on Trump's thing. Not really. I don't really buy that he put the brakes on Trump's victory. Um, Trump's victory don't feel like a victory to you. It doesn't feel like pop a champagne bottle cork off of the bottle and everybody have a sip of champagne right now. That doesn't make you feel like that. Okay. All right. Yeah. Paul Ryan comes in and he makes me he makes me put my champagne bottle back. I put my champagne bottle back because Paul Ryan has such a problem with Donald Trump coming out here and getting the nomination. He's such a has such a problem with Trump getting the nomination that I'm gonna go put my I'm gonna go put my sparkling uh uh champagne back. I'm gonna put it back. I was ready to pop the cork, but now I'm not because Ryan. Oh my goodness. All right, so I hope to support our nominee. Ryan said, "At this point, I'm just not there right now." Somebody has got to get rid of this guy. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, if I didn't have this feeling, I wasn't a gut feeling, and the Tea Party um has a problem with him too. I would not come out here and be saying any of this if it was not something to be worried about, ladies and gentlemen, and not something to honestly be looking out for and to pay attention to this guy. Because what we had was we had particular people standing up against um, what do you say, the Republican, what George Bush did for 8 years, right? So they did the complete opposite of all of that, proved in that amount of time that it's the wrong thing to do and that it's a complete mess. And for whatever reason, you're sitting there lying and getting away with lying and telling everybody that, we this is the way that we have to do it to bankrupt all these countries, um, push all these bad deals in order to abuse the economic sense of things so that they can go into a global type of thing, and that makes us not citizens anymore. It makes us subjects like they do in England. So it'd be maybe partly that, but they're making up their own rules as a ruling class over us, and it's always going to be do what they think that we is better for us, but don't even talk to them about what they do. Don't talk to them about how they live their life. Okay? You just need better just buck up and worry about yourself. You don't ever talk about Obama or Hillary Clinton or anybody else for that matter how they live. You know, you don't make rules over them. You don't tell them anything that makes them that bears on them at all. Okay? They bear over you completely. 100% they dominate the waves over everybody, over all of us, right? So I do not like this Paul Ryan guy, and I'm telling you right now, he's got to go. He's already blown it way too much. He's intolerable, and he's gonna try to throw a wrench in here whenever he went in there. And what did he do? He took him 24 hours. he went in and came out and said, "Okay, I got a deal done with Obama." We're like, wait a second, you just became the Speaker of the House, and then come out 24 hours later, the first thing you did was go and you got a deal done with Obama, and you're doing what? Instead of sending troops back to Iraq right now, well, which because Obama, obviously, if he tried to be a good president, he would fail, you know? So that's with the chaos in Iraq and all that. It's not George Bush. George Bush was a good president. He did a good job putting the terrorists where they belong and in their place. But so we have refugees though coming over here, instead of being protected or having the people who's supposedly persuading them out of their countries, um, you know, threatening to kill them or going to kill them or whatever. They're running rancid, and that's it's okay with Obama. You know, we have no right to go and fight or be anything. Ask him why. Ask Obama why. Why? Why do we have no right to to be in Iraq and watch him be like, oh, well, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of your money. George Bush tried to bankrupt us by putting us in Iraq. You know, and then this guy, basically, I don't even know what wars he has going on there. They're all like espionage. So it's another part of it that they believe in having a war, but just don't tell anybody about it or something. We'll invade this country under Obama, but no, then we're keep your mouth shut. Say a word. We're gonna come after you like they do with the folks cover up in Roswell, in Corona, New Mexico, and we'll make you disappear. You say a word. You know what I mean? It's like how much more ridiculous can these non-leaders be, like Obama and Hillary's and them? So, um, yeah. Trump quickly reported, "I am not ready to support Speaker Ryan's agenda." Can I stop for a second right here? Just for a second, right? We'll continue right there. But I'm just gonna say that what Speaker Ryan did was a complete slap in our face. I thought it was a big slap in my face because I don't want disenfranchised people coming to my country. People are gonna be bitter, and then they come here. I don't even know how the people are gonna treat them when they come here. I don't even know how Obama treats them, how their government treats them with Obama in there. You know, they're somewhat hostile through and through, to the point where people just gonna be completely bitter when they come here. I just want to know how come there would ever be somebody not willing to grab a firearm or whatever you have to grab or get in the tank or whatever it is that you have to do to man up, to man into something, a firearm or on a swift boats or anything that we have or whatever, if we have people trying to kill us, you know. Right now, I do not understand how anybody could really be made a refugee without being recycled and flushed back in as a warrior, as a combat fighter, um, without trying to figure out how to be a combat fighter for your own self in the first place. So how do you not fight for your own self in your own home? You want other people to do it for you? That's why I have a big problem with the Jehovah's Witnesses or whatever. You know, I've been listening to that Prince for a while. I thought some of his music was pretty cool, and I found out that he was a Jehovah's Witness, and I'd say that's probably about the only problem I'd have with him, and it's like a kind of a tweaky kind of a problem. You know, it's not like I hate you or anything. I just have to make
myself clear to the point that I salute the flag. I had not ever went and joined the military or anything like that, but I would have. But I still, I'm just saying, even though I haven't ever really been in the military, I still would salute the flag just like they do. More like probably, I'd probably go and chop, salute chop. Not like them. They stand there with their hand at the flag whenever you're taking a national anthem or anything like that. I would salute a little bit like them, but I think that would cut the I can actually salute in the middle of it. So I'm kind of dumb, I guess. I'm not dumb, but I'm just a little unaware, I guess, of different things. But still very patriotic and very empathetic to the military and their needs and what they need to accomplish their war and their goals. And I seriously don't want to work up to this point in the game to where our military ends up running and fleeing and becoming refugees and running away from a problem instead of facing it directly. And for the life of me, I don't understand how Obama's got everybody running and fleeing like this when ISIS is a ragtag army. They're a ragtag army over there. How long do you think it would take our U.S. Marine Corps to thump ISIS if they didn't have their hands tied by a Democrat in Washington? And Paul Ryan wants to act like he's a staunch American or something. He's a traitor. He's he's as just as much now at fault and to blame for a lot of what's going on in the problem now. He's helping it. He's endorsing it. So he's a traitor. He's a spy. He deserves the same bullet between his eyes that Obama does for being a traitor to America and the media for putting Obama and these guys in these places and continually faking, trying to pretend like he's something that they're not. Oh, he's a Republican. Oh, yeah, that's why he's a traitor, huh? That's why he's a backstabber that should be tried for treason. All these guys, Obama should be tried for treason if he's not willing to admit that, okay, I wasn't really born in America. Then he's a um, treated as an enemy, just an enemy terrorist. Then at that point, if Obama were to be charged and been put through court, and then it comes out, oh, I'm not even, I wasn't born in Hawaii. I was really born in Kenya. Like that, everybody knew I was. I was not actually born in America, but we were allowed to lie, and the media was allowed to get away with lying too. So they're all traitors. They're all worth um, nothing. They're worth nothing more or less than a bullet between the traitorous, espionaging, spying ass, lying ass, uh, deceitful, lying little ass faces. Serious. They should be shot in front of a firing squad. And people want to act like we couldn't see that, or like whatever they want to act like. But my eyes are open and I can smell trouble. And I could have told you all of this stuff before Obama took office. Like it said, they were able to tell me, oh, forecast. So Obama will be the president. He convinced me that before he became the president in 2008 or 7 or whenever he was campaigning back then. I'm serious. I would have been able to tell you forecast back then. So many of the troubles, man. That's why I was a staunch Republican. But who's acting and pretending like they're in our Republican Party, and who did the party actually elevate? They didn't elevate me to congressman, you know. I asked them. I volunteered over and over again for the Republican Party for years, and I told them over and over again, yeah, I think that you need to consider um, trying to figure out how to make me a politician. I think I would do really good up there, but I'm just completely kind of disgusted with the turn of events and the way that this turned out, and how the ruling class keeps getting away with this. So this is like how the DA, like you go into court, the DA picks your whole jury for you. You don't get to pick a single person out of your jury. If you're gonna, they're gonna convict you on something, and then they convict you on something. So this is in that context of that, the same type of how I say, like, what happened here was Obama told the Republicans and the Republican Party who to replace John Boehner with was Paul Ryan. That's who Obama told them to put in there. You want to call me a liar or not? Well, first in 24 hours later, after he became the speaker, he comes out and has a press conference, and then and then is talking shit, talking tremendous shit about Trump. Trump this, Trump that. That's not our Republican Party's principles. That's not the principles that we stand by over here. What Trump's saying, it's not, huh? Anyway, so Ryan's remarks were the latest sign to just how much work Trump will have to do just to bring Republicans along with him. No, I don't think so. He's not a real Republican. He needs to be booted out. And this right here, if you boot him out, that's gonna piss so many of those lefties and so many of these people. It'll short a fuse in their brain if you bump Paul Ryan out of there. You get his ass out of there. Take a vote and get him the fuck out of there. Pardon my language. I mean, but serious. He is no good. You want to sit there and talk about Trump this or Trump that? Anybody who's sitting there talking shit like the way that they do in Obama, they're the worst people for to be in power positions, and it's probably a good thing that you showed it, that you let them become president, so that you can see what it's like to have somebody who don't give a fuck what you think as your president. He cares what he thinks, and he hates America. Y'all don't get that. You don't get how much of a lying sack of shit Obama is. I'm telling you, if they convicted him and then gave him the firing squad, I would get a ticket. I would try my best to get a ticket in to go see that. Okay, perhaps in the future we can work together and come to an agreement about what is best for the American people, Trump said in a statement. Ryan's remarks were the latest sign of just how much work Trump will have to do just to bring Republicans along with him, let alone the rest of the country. The country is going to go and vote for him in a landslide, but he needs to get the rest of the country along with him. You get that? I I don't get that. The rest of the country don't need to get along or get in line with everybody else when everybody else in the country goes to vote for Trump. You all, we all need to get in line with you still, even though we went and voted for who we're voting for to flip you off and tell you to fuck off and go fuck yourself. We've had it. We've had enough of this tremendous bullshit. Okay, enough is a fucking enough with this fucking appeasing to fucking gay marriage and shit like that. Are you serious? We all need to get on board with you because that's what we fucking voted for. Are you high? What are you high on? Because I want that drug fucking made illegal and banned in America because you are high on some fucking shit if I've ever heard of anybody on some fucking shit ever in my life. So So we have to bring all the rest of these Republicans and all the rest of the country on board, even though there's going to be a bunch of Democrats voting for Trump too, right? Probably went and registered as Republican. Talk about reverse effect or something. I don't know what you call that, but we're going to change the party to where they'll have no other choice but to get rid of these backstabbers like Paul Ryans and these Obamas and these Hillary Clintons, and put them in jail. And then like we hear like let's hear just a little bit of it, tidbits of them in prison, not in prison, but I mean them getting convicted and going to jail instead of making a big, huge public thing, you know, with the media and all that. I say we limit how much of their trials, and when they go to prison, I say we just give them very limited, um, you know, uh, um, time at that point, and also um, ban all these other anti-American MSNBC, CNNs, and these other outlets that help get Obama in there that are propaganding the wrong thing and lying to us all. Ban them out of America if you don't want to, you know, kick them out and get them out some other way, or kill them. I prefer just to kill them if they're my enemy and they wish me harm or dead or out of their way, however they want to do it. I wish them dead, harm, or out of my way, however I have to do it. That's straight up. So, anyways, let alone here we are. Let alone the rest of the country after an unusually div- divisive and bruising presidential primary, and Trump signal he may not be interested in working to win over party elites. Yeah, and see, and this is why I've been saying, you know, the guy, Stephen, whatever, Stephen O, or I think is what his name is on ESPN. He's a Republican, and he said he wished that every black person was Republican, and he had so whatever his reasons were. I said, and I've always said this. I had kind of a saying like that, a feeling like that, except I said it for everyone. I said I wish everyone would go register as a Republican so that we can all vote for the one guy or the one person out of them all that we wanted. And obviously, if we were all in a room and we were doing work or play or whatever we were doing, Trump seemed like he might be one of those type of people that might be some fun to be around, you know. So I don't know why all these people have a problem with him in particular, except that it's not part of their ruling class thing that they have going on and their dominance over all of us. And back to like those authority figures, like those cops in that show in the X Files I was telling you about. That I don't believe that's like the Agent Mulder guy or whatever believes that. I think he's against that type of rhetoric. No, he thinks people. He believes in people. You have to be such a non-believer in people to think that you have to rule over people like that in particular, and that you have to subject them to your rule, and and hold them to it. You have absolutely nothing you hold yourself to, and the point in time is coming when they will have absolutely nothing that they will hold their self accountable for or to, and will be able to do anything they want, just like a king or a queen or whatever, that has power like that to rule and subject people to war and other scrutinies and stuff. So, do you really want somebody who's not even willing to go join the military or appreciate them, and to absolutely care wholeheartedly about the military? You want somebody who spits on your flag, somebody who would shit on a military person to be your president, to be in there, you know? So I don't know what these people like Paul Ryan understand that he is um, making it accessible for himself to shit on the military and other people and our rights. You know, and he might not think of it like that, but who are you making a deal with? You're making a deal with the most shitting in us on people president there ever was. I don't know that there was ever a U.S. president that has shitted on any more people to get what his stupid media caused. The media, him and the media have a similar agenda or cause, you know? That's their walk. That's what they're doing. That's what they talk. That's what they walk. You know? I'm serious. It's why you've got gay marriage in here. Throwing you all off like, wait, we're in the middle of a war too. So you pull us out of our war. You have this guy who's a complete rollover. He's like probably the biggest, I'm going to say, he's probably the biggest pussy that ever lived. Obama is one of the biggest pussies I've ever heard, and he'd have somebody from the big and bad from the government go shut you up or go get in your face for calling him such a twerp, such a fucking twerp, such a pussy. So I don't know. You guys keep wanting to put a pussy in there. George Bush, you think George Bush would knock you out if you went and were able to get in a room with him and confront George Bush? You don't think George Bush wouldn't put up his dukes and wouldn't take a jab at you and possibly knock you out? You don't see the difference between the skinny, scrawny worm that they're lying to make look like pretend like he's something accomplished or something decent or good when he's classless to somebody like George Bush. There's no comparison, not even a comparison. Okay, so let alone the rest of the country. So here we're dealing with the rest of the country, this 1% that we have to go in. We have to figure out a way to get along with this 1% when 99% of everybody else went and voted for Trump. Us and the 99 percenters all have to figure out how to, appease to the 1%ers still, Holy shit. This is just, I mean, this is mind-boggling. I mean, mind explosive. I mean, you could really rupture something in your head. And listening to these people are the type of people that just blowing smoke. Such baloney. Such baloney that these guys are talking about. Holy shit. Anyways, after an unusual division in President Primary Trump signaled he may not be interested in working to win over party elites. See, and they're not party elites. They're establishment. They're rhinos, establishment. The elitists or whatever that you call that are in the Democrat Party. There's a difference. Establishment guy, everybody's all kind of a system. I think most people are probably possibly systematic or system type of people, so they follow in society somewhere systematically. That's why a lot of people are good at having a role in the military. They go to the military for a whole life or a career because they're systematic. They're a system type of person. That's what I see. Trump Ryan meeting. Republican National Committee Chairman Reince Priebus later told Fox News Channel Sean Hannity that Ryan and Trump would meet next week, both committed to sitting down and actually talking this out. Priebus said, I think it's going to work out, but in some cases, people are not going to be instantly on board, and I know that can be frustrated for some people. Okay, I stop here again. So this is what. So let's boil down to what what Ryan wants out of Trump. This is all that Ryan had a problem with Trump and said that he has no place in the Republican Party and is not a Republican and this and that because Trump said a couple of things that piss people off that are not politically correct. So he said politically incorrect things, and that pissed Ryan off? Are you serious? So it's not that Trump would really be a liberal douche or do something bad. No, you see, the most staunch liberal douche is in there right now. The worst person that you want looking at secret information, top secret files. There's no telling who Obama thinks deserves to, have access to our government information, our secret information. But but here we are. Said Paul Ryan has a problem with him over that, and what does Trump have a problem with Ryan over? That Ryan has a problem with Trump for whatever reason. Ryan has a problem with Trump over. That's the only thing Trump has a problem with Ryan over right now that I can think of. Not even getting into the business aspect of what's really wrong there. Just on the surface, I can tell you Trump only has a problem with Ryan because Ryan is trying to break down this problem thing with Trump, like he's a racist or a bigot and this and that. Yeah, he might be, but I've seen the biggest racist, bigot, ideologue that I've ever seen. When I say, you're an Obama, I say you're an Obama. I mean, you're a shit. You're a piece of shit. This guy, Obama, couldn't do no wrong, and his way is just like, is that like supposed to be natural thought or something? Holy fucking gee whiz! He's got me baffled. If that's the way you guys think the world's supposed to work and rotate and stuff. Anyways, Ryan, who will be chairman of the Republican National Convention in Cleveland this July, said that conservatives want to know if Trump shares their values, and added that simply saying the party is unified doesn't make it so. And see, these are the type of people that are dividing or trying to divide the party. When I just seen Trump go and win hands down, um, however they had it made out there, he ended up being the nominee at the end like that, the winner. So I just want to know who Ryan thinks he's pretending to be talking about, and if he quietly understands that the rhetoric that's coming out of his mouth, that is spewing out of his mouth, is divisive talk, is division talk. He's talking about division. He's not talking about bringing people together. He's talking about we're going to have a problem with Trump. I mean, until we die. I mean, or until, no end. There'll be no end to having a problem with Trump directly in particular. So just because Ryan says it actually doesn't make it so. I just seen a bunch of people who think a lot alike went and probably registered to become Republicans so that they can get on board with Trump. They're sick of what's been going on here, so it makes a lot of sense that Trump has overwhelming support, and then you still see these um, little peons like him, like Paul Ryan, come out here and act like he's gonna be the Republican Party House Speaker forever now. It's ridiculous. At this point, I think that he needs to do more to unify the party, and then to go forward and appeal to all Americans. Ryan of Wisconsin told CNN Ryan's refusal to follow Previous' lead in rallying behind Trump has no real precedent, but it but fits the mood of Republicans in Washington, many of whom fear the impact Trump's nomination will have down the ballot. So I don't know what they think. So, some of these guys that just did a video yesterday on them coming out right away saying that they're gonna a bunch of these backstabbers to our country. They're not a backstabber to Trump. They're a backstabber to the whole country. are going to go vote for Hillary for the first time. They're going to leave the Republican Party. Bye. Please leave. Take Paul Ryan with you. When you all go, please take Paul Ryan with you. Whatever party you guys decide to go in, you want to be a Democrat, you want to join sides with the elitists and the establishment and this ruling, whatever this ruling fucker is over there, please, bye. We'll see you later. Have a good one. Should we say it? Should I say it? Dude, all of us, when the majority of everybody finally goes in there and votes for Trump because we're sick of it, you guys can all take this unified crap when all of the rest of everybody finally unifies on purpose because of you shitheads anyways, forcing us all to wind up that way. I'm just going to tell you right now, you can cram it and take that stuff and stick it where the sun doesn't shine, Paul Ryan. I'm serious. You take that stuff and you keep it. You keep your words. We don't want to hear it. Don't come and subject us to some of the bullshit that you're saying. I'm an American, okay? And I'm looking out for the interests of my country. I'm not looking out for the interest of any other country in the world first over my own. There's just no way. I don't understand how you think I can help other countries out when my country isn't working at its top performance. When business runs good, the military runs good, and things aren't sabotaged on purpose because of a politician who takes bribes or payments from the terrorists or whatever Obama is getting from them, whatever the media gets from, they're getting endorsed basically from our enemy, from the people who attacked us on 9/11. So the real people who attacked us on 9/11, and they want to act like George Bush had something to do with it too. Remember the first World Trade Towers? That's complete bullshit. You're just talking about one president to another, Bush to Obama, one that will stand up for us and will allow us to arm ourselves to the teeth and go after our enemies and our foes instead of one that wants to disarm us all and then arm the very people that attacked us on 9/11. So what would happen if America was bombarded, right, with refugees, with terrorists, terror cells everywhere, left and right, and they recruit. They don't just come over here and just stop and then commit a terrorist act. People don't understand the true nature of things. What they're doing out there is the same thing that we've been doing in our society and with the thing and in the game. And that's recruit. We recruit people in our military, out of our society. So they're going to come to our society with help with Obama and the media and all these dirty backstabbers, and you don't think they're worth a bullet in their head. The the only thing they're worth is a firing squad. Is to be put on death row. The militaries, the U.S. Army military death row, and then shot in front of a firing squad. Is what people bringing refugees into my country deserve? Seriously? You're going to bombard us with our enemy and with terrorists. So, anyways, Christie outreach. Oh yeah, because we talked about that the other day. Chris Christie supported him, supports Trump, which is smart. Anyways, Trump all but wrapped up the Republican nomination this week as his Tuesday victory in the Indiana primary. None of us knew exactly how that was going to go, but anyways, led his only two remaining opponents, Ted Cruz and Ron Cusack, to drop out. Cusack acted like he was going to keep on going until his advisors evidently talked to him over and over and over again, dude, I think we need to drop out. So then he finally said, fine, all right. So for whatever reason, they don't like Trump. It's because they want to be the guy that comes in and saves our health care, saves the world, saves our life, saves the economy, saves all business aspect, saves small business, saves everything the Tea Party works for, and the Tea Party can disassemble itself because they won't need to. They'll be able to all go back to their normal jobs and work, and everything will be all peachy koo and back to normal. Hopefully, right? That's what we're hoping with a Trump landslide victory. So, anyways, here we are on the Democratic side. Hillary Clinton has a large lead over Bernie Sanders, though he won in Indiana and is vowing to continue his campaign. No Republican should ever consider supporting Hillary Clinton, Ryan told CNN. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, a Trump ally, said Thursday that he planned to reach out to Ryan to discuss the speaker's hesitation. Donald's got work to do in bringing people together, but that's not all that much different from other primaries, Christie told reporters in Trenton. But bridging the parties gap between Trump's brand of politics and Ryan's won't be easy. Burden on Trump. Ryan is a champion of free trade deals Trump has blasted. Free trade deals. Okay. We'll look into that. Ryan has repeatedly tried behind the scenes to rally his party behind an immigration overhaul that would allow many illegal immigrants to stay in the U.S., while Trump has proposed a mass deportation force and the construction of a massive wall on the southern border. And Ryan recoils at the insults and outrageous rhetoric that fling regularly from Trump's mouth. So let me stop right here. It makes me think. I really wish that we could have just made Mexico part of America, but I don't know if that's too difficult. Them speaking Spanish and us speaking English and being right next to each other. I don't know if that's why we have to insist on there being a wall and a border there anyways, and not bringing them to the table of democracy. Because you got to think, that's what I thought. I laughed when I heard Roseanne say that in 2012 when she ran. She said she would go to war with Mexico. Well, invade Mexico. Don't go to war with them. There's a lot of good people there. A lot of hardworking people. The hardest working people I've ever seen in the world are Mexican. So I got to give them a lot of props and hella credit for being who they are. So I'm not anti-Mexican or anti-Espanol at all. I am very much pro people like that. But are we gonna not ever be able to have a wall, or not? What I'm saying is, tear the wall down. Remember Reagan? Tear down the wall, Mr. Gorbachev. Tear it down. Tear it down now. I have no idea if we're going to be able to ever come to a point where we can say tear down that wall. Because that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see unification of the Americas. You know, Canada's their own country. They have a border too. They're out of a democracy, aren't they? Or are they more of a socialistic country? I like Canada. I like countries who support Israel in particular, times like this. And I don't appreciate people who call ISIS ISIL. I don't appreciate that. And I don't appreciate people making deals with bad presidents. All right, so Brian, like Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell earlier this week, put the burden on Trump to bring party members together, saying we're unified doesn't actually unify us, said Ryan, who, yeah, so it's time to get rid of any of you all who aren't on board. We got to this point where we just got on a brand new board and a brand new agenda. And if you guys are not on that board, McConnell, McConnell and Ryan, people like you, if you're not on board, it's your time to jump off and get off. And they're gonna insist on staying. They're not gonna just leave that easy. They're not. They've been McConnell's been in the Senate for how long? So not necessarily bringing them together. You know how to unify it right quick. Vote these vote these guys out. Vote Ryan out and vote McConnell out. Replace them with somebody who's in business. Excuse me. I think we should hire everybody who's a successful business person at this point and put them in every single Democrat and Republican position of authority out there, because it's like gonna be like almost a chore for them to kind of give their business a break for a minute, and then they'll be able to appreciate their business more probably when they go back or kiss the ground, so to speak, whenever they're not forced to be a politician anymore. But how else do you get people in there that you need in there and want in there if you're smart enough to understand how the economy works and inflation is driven so high? How else do you get people in there to replace people you don't want if they're not going to even go on the ballot? If they're not even going to run, you have to um, recruit them somehow. You have to draft them. Not, drafting is nobody wants to see somebody forced to do something that they don't want to do. But like I said, how else are you going to get people that are going to insist that they do the right thing instead of constantly insist that we do the wrong thing? If we're not willing to draft politicians, they've drafted people in the military before. How come we can't draft people in the politics and force them to go? Trump is just might possibly just be one person other than Rick Scott, the Florida governor, who I like to say if he's a lot like Trump, boy, he kept a lot of promises and did a lot of good for the state of Florida and did it not for his own interest. And how I can point that out is the Democrats are trying to go after people's retirements and trying to bankrupt our country. And what is Florida? Florida, maybe not so much California anymore, but Florida is. Florida is a retirement state. You look at any other state that's a retirement state, who's their governor? They've got a damn liberal in there. What do the liberals want to do? They want to take your retirement, turn it around, put you on a fixed income after you worked your entire life. They're going to figure out a way to manipulate um, being able to pay you pennies to what you're worth at that point. That's what I see. I see a place if Rick Scott's, what I'm saying is if Rick Scott's opponent would have won and the Democrats would have won, Alex Sink, you're actually talking about those elitists that I was talking about that are there set in place to go after all those old people's retirements, and at the same time they're working against you while you work and all your job employment opportunities. And what have these people done successfully in business? Where did their money come from? I want to know all of it, as much aspects as legally able to find and disclose, you know, or be told, right? Um, that's what I would like to know, and I would like to know if people understand. Check this out. Do you understand that they cannot run a business? So what they do is they come to the government and they become rich off of democracy and off of other people's wealth and what other people are doing. So there's so many people with businesses that have done so good and were successful. They got to a point where they were doing really good just to be frustrated with the government or with like, what is that fair? Is that fair that somebody is who didn't even, maybe it's not that they're not capable of doing, they didn't even care to go run a business and try to make money that way. They decided to become a Democrat and a politician and then go after those people's retirements and then after their bank accounts and are for helping people who have lousy businesses to bail them out, give them billions of dollars while they're going around and bailing banks out was the start of it from the government's standpoint was whenever the government was able to tell the story like this is their side of the story is that they said that the nation's economy and everything and all our businesses and all would shut down if we didn't bail them out for all of the bad loans that they gave to people in particular because the bank said that they would not disperse people's money and not, you know how the armor trucks go around every day. You see armor truck all the time. They're carrying cash, they're doing business all over the place. You know, under armed guards and stuff. They said that they would refuse the next day if they didn't get a bailout, and that was on George Bush. This is what they told George Bush, not just Obama. But I don't even know if they even had to tell Obama that. I think Obama was just, their mule or whatever to help them get whatever they needed accomplished, even more. But this is what they told Bush when Bush bailed out the banks. They said that they threatened Bush, just like what they did with the Gap.